Welcome, everybody. We are live betting for breakfast, our Wednesday night golf betting show. Do a little bit of breakfast at night for golf coming up this weekend. We're going to recap the drama, the sweat from the Travelers last weekend, the never-ending playoff. We're going to go through that. We're going to hit you with all our bets for this weekend, outrights, matchups, top 10s, top 20s, right down the line. We're going to hit everything. But before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to Heat Ratio Sports Network. That's the best way to support us. If you are watching on any other platform besides YouTube, just make sure you shoot over to YouTube, like and subscribe from there. But I brought my man, Dave Gleckner. Dave, I ended up on the positive on the Travelers, but it wasn't easy. It was a long, arduous process. And the only reason I got there, my guy, Russell Henley, collapsed on Sunday. And then I was able to kind of bet Harry English live. He was able to come through for me. But what an exciting, eventful playoffs. You know, it felt like it was never ending. But I was really excited to end up on the right side with our man Harry English pulling it out.
Yeah, you know what? I ripped some Harry English early in the season, and he's really started to find his form lately. And that's the neat thing about golf. Like, these guys just need a couple tweaks, couple weeks off, and here you go. And Harris English, I think he's the third two-time winner on tour now this year. He's got game. And that 8-hole playoff was just something fun to watch. I mean, really, Bryce had it. I don't know how many times. I mean, not Bryce. What the hell's his name? It's on the tip of my Hickok.
Oh,
Hickok.
Yeah, Kramer Hickok. Yep.
He had it. He had it so many times and couldn't just drop that one putt. English kept burning the 6-7 footers. And finally, when it got down to the big putt at the end, he closes the door. It was fun. A fun tournament. Man, I didn't have a great one, but Answer coming up in the top 20, having a great weekend, did at least give me some good mojo to bring into this week.
Well, Sunday was crazy because we saw people like Answer kind of slide up in, up the leaderboard.
Yeah.
And then we saw so many people, like it was like a sardine can at the top of the leaderboard. There were so many people packed in right by each other. We're like, wow, this is going to be exciting. And then it thinned out real quick, right? And then all of a sudden, everybody started dropping out. We saw the implosions. We saw the implosion from Henley, which I had the 50-1 ticket on. I ended up cashing the plus 275. But boy, was that a sweat. He almost dropped out of the top 20 on the 275. So ended up cashing that. And then Bubba, right? I mean, everybody loves Bubba, but man, did Bubba, right? like, talk about imploding. It was unbelievable to see him fall that quickly, right?
And he's won at that tournament 3 times. They say death, taxes, and Bubba at the Travelers. Like and somehow he did what Bubba does. He just can't. I mean, it's like Finau. It's like these guys that it's crazy. It's crazy how Bubba, because I thought that was his. I really did. Going into Sunday.
We talk about sports and we talk about like now there's a lot of playoffs going on, right? NBA, NHL, and we always talk about how the playoffs is a different animal, right? And the reason I love golf is because Sunday is a different animal. Like, like once you get to Sunday, that pressure mounts and it's so much fun to watch. A lot of guys checking in. Guys, we appreciate you. Adam, what's up, guys? Get some picks and win some money. That's what we're all about, man. We're all about ended up in the positive. I got there. I think I live bet Harry English like 3 times, but it kept getting extended, so I kept hammering them and ended up paying off. Dan Green checking in. Hickok resembles a slimmer Koepka. I'll tell you what. He did. And Koepka, how about Koepka? Shows up. It's not a major. Everyone expected him to just kind of take it easy, and he came roaring up the leaderboard. Yeah,
on Sunday he showed his presence, but then it's just too much to come back from when I think he was 6 off starting the day. But he did give a scare. The same with Answer, like you said. Answer, I mean, he was on the 17-18. So what, Bubba?
Yeah,
you know why I sucked last week? You know what?
Go ahead.
We didn't do a show.
That could be it. We did not have this show. We didn't have a show last Wednesday night. Maybe that took off your mojo. Not enough camera time.
Yeah. I didn't wear the glasses when I tweeted my picks.
That could be it. It could be it. But the glasses are back, and the wins are going to be back for sure. Like I said, I ended up in the positive, but it was only Henley saved me with the plus 275, and it was English. I hit him, I think it was at about hole 15. I hit him at minus 150, and then I hit him at the playoffs at minus 150 as well. It ended up cashing. So, chased a little bit to get into positive, but we got into positive, and that is really what matters. But I was really disappointed because I thought that 50-1 on Henley was coming home, man.
Yeah, man, that would have been the biggest hit this year.
It would have been super sweet, dude. But not, he just fell apart. He just wasn't ready. Played an outstanding round. An outstanding weekend, but outstanding tournament, but just kind of fell apart at the end. But I do want to give a little bit of respect to Hickok because I really feel like even though I was betting against him and I was happy to see him lose, I really feel like he showed a lot of mental toughness, man, because that playoff was a grind. I mean, we saw like English's back was bothering him. He's stretching out his back. Like those guys played, almost another half full round in the playoff. Yeah. So, and for him, both of those guys, the best part, the most impressive part I thought about that playoffs is they were putting like crazy, man. They weren't missing any putts.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're all pressure. Those 6-footers, those 8-footers, and they're dead center on half of them. It was crazy.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there like I need English, so I'm like pounding the table for English, and they're showing, Hickok's family. They're showing the pictures with Jordan Spieth. I'm like, I don't care about Sam Burns. I don't care about his family. I don't care who he's friends with. I need English to get this done, and finally at the end he came through for us.
Yeah. That he did, and good week for you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, listen, anytime you can get a positive weekend, it's a good one. Adam, I'll tell you, man, he's hit some before, but he likes Webb Simpson, man, on the outright winner. We're going to talk a little bit about our outrights coming up. Webb Simpson is a guy who a lot of people think fits this course very well. A lot of success there on Webb Simpson. Definitely somebody you need to look out for. Adam, we appreciate you checking in with that. Webb Simpson's going to be a very popular name this weekend.
Yes, he is. And there's a couple reasons why. Maybe we'll get into those.
Yeah. Anyone else out there listening, man, if you got your outright picks, top 20s, whatever you got, drop them in the comments, man. We'll talk about it. That's what we're here for. Not only for us to give our picks and make some money, but, for you guys to let us know what you got, and we'll give you our opinion on that. Now, let's get into the picks, Dave. And, I have 3 of them. I got 3 people I'm targeting, and that's one of the things we don't do. We don't come on here, we don't go live, and we don't spray the board and give out 80 golfers and say, hey, one of them hits, and then we do a couple victory laps. I got 3 guys I'm targeting this weekend on outrights, and I like them all, but they're all fairly similar. And I think the way this course lays out, a lot of people will know where I'm heading. Now, when we look at the odds board, you can see it on the ticker below. The odds leader is Bryson DeChambeau, defending champion, plus 750. He is the odds-on favorite. This is a Bomber's paradise. But before we get into the picks, Dave, let's talk a little bit about the course at the Detriot Golf Club and what kind of skills, what kind of traits, what kind of metrics we're looking at when we're handicapping this event.
Yeah, Rocket Mortgage Classic, 3rd year being held at Detroit Country Club or Golf Club. Par 72, 7370. They actually extended this course. I think it's by 40, 50 more yards this year, so it's a little bit longer. But like you said, in a way, a bomber's paradise, there's one water hazard on the whole course. There's about 80 bunkers, but they're sprinkled throughout, and it's pretty wide open. You can really take some angles. You can take some shots. You won't be penalized too much by going off into the rough. This course in itself over the past 2 years, because it's the 3rd year here, has averaged the 2nd most birdies on the PGA Tour. The winner and the only other one beating it, I think, is the one up in Minnesota. The winner last year, Bryson minus 23. Year before that, Nate Lashley. What a good story that was, too. If you didn't know the Nate Lashley story, he lost his parents in a helicopter or a plane or car crash. It wasn't something really bad. And comes back and he wins and he gets his tour card. This was the coming out part for Nate Lashley. Shot 25 under that year. He was untouchable. Guys in second, you had to keep an eye on. Bryson, his year last year, Wolf came in second. That was foreshadowing for the U.S. Open only a couple weeks later, where it went Bryson and Wolf first, second. And Doc Redman, he was a Monday qualifier back in 2019. Like Lashley, goes and pushes and gets to second place. So, yeah, Trump, you said it. This fits certain styles, no doubt about it. But the key metrics I'm looking at, hey, the 2 winners, Bryson and Lashley led the field in par 4 scoring average. Okay, that's something to write down. Other things, strokes gained putting. Bryson was number 1 last year. Lashley was 2 when he won. And strokes gained tee to green. Bryson was 4th. Lashley was 3rd. The driving metrics are weird. I mean, Bryson led the field off the tee, driving distance, 1-1, all that. But Lashley was like 51st, 50. He was hitting his long irons that week. So I really think these greens are, bent POA mixed. They're not too hard to putt on. They're rather big too, 5,100 square feet. I think putting is going to be a key this week. I really do. I'm looking at some putters in my metrics, and I'm looking at guys that can score well in the par 4s because the par 5s here are all gettable. You're going to score on those. Mm-hmm. Who's going to score on the 4s? That's key. So that's where I'm looking. I'm looking at a big birdie fest this week. And, lots of rain. Been a ton of rain up in the Michigan area over the past 2 weeks. So if you're looking at bombers, I get that because you're not going to get the firm and fast that they got last year. But it is going to be a little bit soft out there and wet and even increase the scoring averages.
Yeah, definite. Good point there as far as the weather, making the green softer, making it a lot easier for these guys. You talked about the par 4s, and I couldn't agree with you more because, again, like we see, you're winning this event, 23, 25 under, right? So it's going to be a ton of scoring. We're going to see some big, great numbers here. But there's 4 par 5s, including, what I thought was interesting. A whole 4 looks like it's like over 600 yards. Just a monster, man. And you got to really grip it and rip it. And, I definitely took some guys with some distance, some guys that could play long this week. And I think that's going to be key all weekend as we see it. But let's get into those outrights. Let's get into our outright picks. Adam checking in again. Phil Mickelson, his boy, he's saying top 10, Scott Harrington, top 20. He cracks me up with this Phil Mickelson, man. I always wonder if he's related to Phil. Maybe he
Phil.
I'll
give you a stat on Phil. He's had 1 top 20 in his last 21 events. It was a Kiowa when Cease was on him. So, I mean, if Cease is talking him up now, I might have to grab some top 10. He knew.
He has some history there. He has some history.
The 3% shot of him actually coming in the top 20, Cease hit it that week. I think I'm back in on that. I'm writing that one down.
It's going to pay. It's going to pay. That's for sure,
well,
man. But,
there is some value. And I will say this. If you're looking at guys like Phil and some others we might get into, this is a big week for some Ryder Cup standings. There's not much more to play until they release the Ryder Cup team. Phil's playing for a shot on the team. I don't think he gets there, but if he gets 2 wins, his chances increase really, a lot.
Yeah. So we're gonna see some motivated golfers in respect, right? There's going to be a little extra motivation for some people. So let's get into our outrights, Dave. I'm going to let you lead things off. And I'm going to go chalk down, but you can go however you want, but I'll go chalk down, and I'm going to let you lead things off.
I won't go chalk down because I have a feeling I might have your one chalk, but we'll see. I'm going to go with the guy I like the most probably, but he's not the chalkiest, and that's Jason Kokrak. I'm a big fan of the big guy. I just love, the way he's transformed his golf game. He was in a couple of these tournaments recently, and you saw him flirt with a win or two. He got one earlier this year, obviously, and then got the other over Spieth, right, recently. So he's one of the 2-time winners on tour. And this course just really fits him. He's a bomber, but more importantly to me, he's a putter. He's second on the PGA in strokes gained putting. I really like Kokrak's form. Looking at some of the other stats I really like with Kokrak, he's sitting there 13th in par 5 scoring. Like I said, you're going to score on the par 5s, but if you can separate yourself just a little bit more, I just feel like this course sets up really, really well for Jason Kokrak. I love him a lot this week. I'm all in on Kokrak, 19-1. Oh, I'm sorry, 27-1 on DraftKings right now. Great numbers, great odds, and you've seen it. You've seen a top dog win. You've seen a long shot win. Why not a guy in the middle?
I absolutely love it, and I'm on Kokrak as well. Didn't get the price that you got 25-1, but also playing on plus 125 to get in that top 20. And listen, big old Midwestern boy ready to grip it and rip it. And that's what you want to see this weekend at this course. You want a guy that can play long, top 25 in strokes gained off the tee and driving distance, right? all key factors this weekend. He played well at this course in 2019, but the putting killed him. Dave, you talked about the putting, how much it's increased. Number 2 overall, number 1 strokes gained putting in the last 48 rounds. So Jason Kokrak is a guy who's made those improvements in his game that held him back, when he was at this course previously. I love him, man. We want bombers, we want putters, and I think we're getting both with Kokrak this weekend. So we're aligned here. And Dave, it's funny because some weekends we talk before the show, some weeks we don't. This was one of the weeks we did it. So it's very exciting to see that we're aligned, because when we're aligned, it usually leads to a lot of money in the sportsbook account.
Yeah, I love it, man. And that's not, this guy isn't your run of the course guy. I think he's like the 17th favorite guy on the list. So that's awesome hearing it. Why don't you fire one for us?
Yep. So you can see all the odds of the top 5 guys I have down the bottom at the ticker. Before I get into my next pick, we do have some questions from the people. We appreciate everybody listening and chiming in. Rick is talking about his fantasy league, went middle of the road, didn't want to take the top tier. Said if you don't hit on the top tier guy, you're out. So, of course, a lot of those guys are going to be owned, heavy concentration of ownership at the top. So he went Fowler, Wolf, and Glover. And now, Dave, Wolf is a guy who I looked at long and hard, man. I think there's good value with Wolf. Didn't make my betting card, but he's a guy. I mean, he can rip it, dude. And I think he's made some improvements, took some time off, made some improvements in his game. So I really like Wolf and Glover. What are your thoughts on those 3?
Yeah, I'd like it. And hey, Rick, thanks for checking in. I play a lot of fantasy golf, DFS. I have some one and done leagues. So I kind of get the flavor that your league is probably, you got a roster and you can only play certain guys here and there. Looking at that, I like mid-tier this week. I love mid-tier this week, especially betting odds too. But as far as fantasy goes, yeah, I would stack more. If you're looking DFS, I'd stack more in the 8-9 range, 8-9K range. And as far as Wolf goes, yes, I think there's value on Wolf. I actually liked that he missed the cut last week. We've seen a lot of instances when guys miss the cut. Just take it. He had such a good U.S. Open. He just needed to, I think he needed that weekend off. And he got it last weekend. And then he comes to a place, like we said, second place last year. So it's a place he's familiar with. It's not a challenging course. So I'm a fan of the Wolf pick. I do like Glover. He's just steady as they come. He seems to play well here too. And Fowler, there's something about Fowler. He's starting to play a lot better. I know he's 55-1 odds when you look at winning the tournament. He's another one that's got a name out. I don't think there's any possible chance he makes the Ryder Cup. But if there is, it has to be with a win this week. And, he's still got some tournaments he's got to qualify for. So he's got to have a good performance. I like those 3 overall in your fantasy picks. I think they're solid. I don't think you get a winner out of those, but I think you get a lot of good, top 20s. Top 30, good maybe.
Value, yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, and I think, Fowler's a guy who I haven't backed yet, and I'm just waiting for him to burn me because I know he's playing better, and I'm like, I just can't go there. And, I'm sure he'll pop one weekend, and I'll kick myself for it. He also brings up Noren, Straka, and Redmond. Redmond is a guy I see a lot of people on, especially first-round leader odds, like sprinkle a little bit there. Doc Redmond can show up big because he's rounding out his form as well.
Course for the course, obviously, when he came in second the other year, and he's a big hitter, so he does fit this course pretty well. I think Redmond's a solid play. I'm a little torn on Noren. I don't feel like he's one of the longer hitters in this week, and I know he plays primarily a fade, so he's not going to get much roll anyway. And then you're playing on a wet course. He is a good putter, good iron player. I'm not in love with his chances against this field this week, but can he play a top 20, 30? Yeah, for sure. And Sepp Straka, he's always an interesting one, right? He's another one that fits the bill that we're looking at, a big hitter and has a quality short game.
Absolutely. So going to be a lot of fun. Rick, thanks for checking in. Guys, if you got the plays, hit us up, man. That's what we are here for. Let's hang out, talk some golf. That's what we are all about. Our man Arroyo checking in, man. Yo, good day. Arroyo, listen, I know golf might not be your strongest point, but hit me up on the side, hit me up in the chat, or hit me up in the DMs. Let me know what you're thinking about with McGregor and Poirier. I know that you're heading out there for those fights, and I can't wait for them. But
you going to golf? You going to Vegas?
I think Arroyo is. Yeah. I think he's going out there. Yeah,
probably with all that money he's won on UFC.
Probably.
Yeah.
He does a tremendous job. If you guys don't follow him, definitely follow him. But let's get back to the picks, right? I'm gonna go. I'll go next. I'll fire off my second. Yeah, tee it up for me right there. Bryson DeChambeau, man, the chalkiest of the chalk. Is there a lot of value in plus 750? If he wins, there is. Like, we went through the same thing when I took Rahm with the U.S. Open, and I just have to make this play. I have to have him part of my betting card because it makes too much sense, regardless if there's value in the number. This course, it's like this situation's built for him, and he's the defending champ. He's shown the ability to win there. When you look at Bryson, I have him plus 775, and I have him minus 110 for top 10, right? He's going to hit bombs. They're very easy to hit fairways, right? Minimum danger, Dave. You talked about the one water hazard. There's like 30 acres of fairway. It's like the whole thing's fairway. Like, he's just going to bomb. He's going to rip it, and that's exactly how he wants to play. He's coming off. He was still top 20 at Traveler, so it's not like he's not shooting well. I just think I can't overthink this, and I can't let this weekend pass without betting him because I'm going to kick myself if he tears it up again. You know what I mean? And that's really the.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah,
I'm on the count. So I thought good game tonight.
All right, so with Bryson, like I said, he won last year shooting 23 under. It led the field in driving distance, stroke gains off tee, stroke gain putting, birdie percentage, par 4 scoring. He led everybody in everything, so just dominates this course. Had to put him on my card, so he is my second outright.
Yeah, I love it. And, like you said, the driving distance, par 5 scoring, yeah, everything's – man, it looks too easy, though, doesn't it? But sometimes too easy does it. Too easy does it. I don't blame you.
Dude, if the market's going to give me a layup, I'm going to take it. And I just think that I have to play Bryson here. If he doesn't win the tournament, I'm going to get the minus 110 top 10. I can't see any way that he falls outside of the top 10 this weekend. I shouldn't say that because nothing's a guarantee. Golf's a crazy sport, right? We've seen Bryson melt down before, but it just seems like everything's lining up for him. So definitely on Bryson this weekend. Hit us up with your second pick, Dave.
Yeah, and good for you. My only reason I didn't go Bryson is it's since the PGA, I think it was, or the Players. I think he's like one top 20. Like, he's just been off. I gotta find it. I don't know, man. I love it. I love the pick. This is a type of field that he dominates and wants to get back in there. So I do love it. I'm just scared. I'll tell you, I'm scared. But I hope you hit. I'm gonna go with another guy there that hit a little bit ice cold, and it's time. We always see this guy rise, and sometimes he falls. Well, it's time to rise again. And I think you mentioned it earlier, Cease, but I'm big on Webb Simpson this week. At 19-1, he's a guy that really fits this course well. He was the 36-hole leader last year in 2020, finished tied for 8th. A tremendous putter, as we all know. He's always, right now, what do we have him in putting? I think he's 20th on the tour in putting overall. Par 4 scoring for me, he's 12th. Tied for 12th at 3.99. It's actually best in the field this week. We know where his game is, and we know that he wants to play on this Ryder Cup. I think he's the one that has the most to lose this week and the most to show with a good outing. He's right there on the cusp of being one of those, captain picks, or even making it qualify himself if he gets a win. Webb, he's done well at this course. He's not your longest hitter, but I tell you what he is. He's a great Long Island player. So if he's going to sit there, he's going to back up a little bit. He can hit those hybrids all day. He can put his butt off on this course. I think it's the return of the Webb, and I'm ready for it, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think you're in a real good spot with Webb Simpson, man. Everything kind of lines up with him. I was definitely very close to making my card. I had a couple people on there. Like I said, I was looking long and hard at Wolf, was looking long and hard at Webb Simpson. Max Homa was a guy I took a peek at, but just didn't pull the trigger. Kept it at 3. Right now I got Kokrak and Bryson. You have Kokrak and Webb Simpson, and I'm going to keep it rolling on the outright bets with my last one. And that's Joaquin Niemann. 25-1, I have him at. Another guy plus 125 top 20. So him and Kokrak both plus 125 top 20 I'm playing. Joaquin hits bombs, man. Don't be fooled by his frame. He can hit them as far as anyone. 12th on tour off the tee, 32nd strokes gained putting, 8th in scoring average on a course that fits him like a glove. Love Joaquin Niemann in this spot on this course. Listen, we know it's going to be a birdie fest. Niemann, 16th in birdie average, right? Plays par fives well. He can go long. I think he's working his way back up after missing the cut at the Memorial. He was 31st in the Open against a crazy competitive field, very difficult field. I thought he showed well there. 35th last week at the Travelers. Finished up strong with a 68 on Sunday. I think Joaquin Niemann comes out, hits some bombs, shows his driving distance, plays well off the tee. Where he kind of gets in trouble is the around the green game, not really going to be that prevalent this weekend. I think Joaquin Niemann has a chance to really blow up.
Yeah, Joaquin, like you probably did with Webb, was right on the fringe for me. Really like him, and he's a good putter. Like the only thing I don't like this little motion he makes, but anyway, he's still a good player. He can bomb it, he can hit it. Everything you said. And the way I think I want to say it's 11, 12 top 10s this year. I mean, it's ridiculous how many tournaments he's been in the mix. And I really like Joaquin. What are you getting, 25-1?
25-1, yep. So him and Kokrak, I got at the same price. Love them both. Think there's value on both. I got them at 25-1. I got them plus 125 to make the top 20. So I like them. I think they're both live to win outright. But really like them at top 20 at that price, getting plus money. I think that they both fit the course very well.
Well, I'm glad you left me with what I had to deal with for the last pick, because I really thought you were going here. You can pretty much save this episode in this spot.
You're not going to do it. You are going to do it.
I am. No. You can look outside for full moons, shooting stars. It might even freeze tonight, but I'm doing it. I'm picking the fat turd. I'm picking Patrick Reed, baby. I'm going, what better than a guy, Captain So-Called America, whatever, to win on July 4th weekend. Yeah, he's going to shoot fireworks, right? He's like Kenny Powers down in Mexico. He's just going to do all that stuff, and he's going to light it up, and I feel it. I feel it in my bones. This is Patrick Reed's week. He's had some good experience here back in 2019, finishing in the top 5. Again, a horse like He's tied for 12th as well with Webb in par 4 scoring average, 3.99. One of the best on the tour, the best in the field this week. We know how good of a putter he is, regardless of where he is in the putting stats this year. Even though he's pretty decent, I think we have him at, tied for 8 strokes gained putting. So, I'm doing it, man. I am doing it.
Patrick Reed. That's like betting on the Cowboys for us, man. We're from Philadelphia. It's like betting on the Cowboys. You hate Patrick Reed. I love Patrick Reed. You hate Patrick Reed. You're betting him. I'm not betting him because I'm a little emotional. I'm mad at him. He's let me down the last couple of times I've played him. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to the well with Patrick Reed. So I'm sure he will be number 1 on the leaderboard when this thing wraps up on Sunday. But it's just the way things work out.
That's why I've been waiting for you to not touch him, and now he's all mine. He's all mine, baby. And listen, there's some theories. Like I talked to a couple of my buddies that are like Patrick Reed on par 72s. He seems to do well. The last 4 times he's won a tournament, he's shot 14, 18, 16, 15 under. And even earlier in his career, he's won some at 28, 21 under. He's got 9 career victories, and most of them are in the double-digit fashion. We know what's going to happen this week. Yeah, the winner's going to be in the 20s. He seems to thrive at these types of, courses, these types of setups. And there he is. I'm trying.
Our guy, Arroyo, man, he knows what's up. He knows what's up, man. You got to put the emotions away. That's something I didn't do with Patrick Reed. I'm still a little emotional with Patrick. I'm pissed at him, not playing him. He hasn't come through for me lately, so left him off the card. We will see if it costs me. You know what? I can always bet them live. I can always get back on the horse and bet them live, right? That is the beauty of golf. You got 4 days to find your winner.
Yeah. I got a good feeling about this one.
That is so funny, man. Gets no better. But listen, it's going to be a tremendous weekend. Anything else outside of the outrights that catch your eye? Any matchups, any props, anything like that? I know Adam in the chat was asking about first round leader. I know, Doc Redman is a guy a lot of people were talking about. as first round leader. First round leader is kind of tough. I mean, listen, if you can hit it and then you can just sit there and kind of like, sit back and be like, hey, I already won my money. You know what I mean? Like you hit a number like that on your first round leader, then you're going to be sitting pretty the rest of the weekend. You're kind of playing with house money. I mean, there's some guys out there, Todd. Like I think that, if you look at some of these drivers, Wolf's a guy who could, pop up and win in round one, I think, and then, he might not have the stamina to take it through the entire, tournament through the weekend. But, that's the beauty of betting the round one leader is you're only banking on one good round.
Yeah, round one's tough. I mean, I've hit one once or twice, but the reason it's really tough this week is because you got, like, these are all tour professionals, right? Anyone can catch a little fire here and shoot a -10, can shoot a 62 here. It's not a hard course, and it really, to me, it gives, like you said, the winner's going to have to play 4 good rounds. But for someone to just have their round of the year, their life on one day, it can happen at this course. And it brings all 160 into play here. So this one, I don't know if I'm going to touch any round one leaders. If I was, I'm going to look for guys with high birdie percentage. I mean, there's guys like that out there right now. I mean, geez, let's see what we got. High birdie percentage, right? I got one right here. See, it's still hard, right?
It's tough, man, because everybody's going to get well. Like this is, Home is a guy that could pop for sure, man. Yeah,
he's 12th in birdie or better percentage. I mean, Cam Davis is another one at 13th. It's hard, man. It's hard. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch the round one leader, but I do have a few other bets out there. I think I'll align with Rick, what he talked about earlier when he threw out a couple names. I know, also going back to Sepp Straka, I forgot to mention earlier, because I did have him kind of highlighted. I think he's been tied 8th and tied 11th in his 2 tournaments here. So he's a guy that I think he shot 6 of his 8 rounds in the 66 or better range, 67 or better range. So he's definitely a live play. I do like the Sepp Straka for you guys out there playing some DFS. Sepp's on a couple of my lineups. But a top 20 I like is Keegan Bradley. I went to him a couple weeks ago and he let me down. But I really do, at plus 188, I'm liking Keegan's just been that guy that's been in a lot of tournaments this year, and he does hit the ball pretty far. His putting's up and down, but I think he fits this style of tournament, this style of course. So Keegan for a top 20, and I actually like Ricky Fowler for a top 30. Hard for me to pull the trigger on top 10 or top 20. I think Fowler's the kind of guy, like you talked with Wolf, doesn't get a lot of chances to play 4 rounds. So I'm not sure how much stamina he'll have on Sunday, but it's very possible a top 30 for Ricky Fowler gets you at plus 150. Those are the 2 top 20, top 30 plays I like right now.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Matchups, I'll probably hit the matchups live. Like if I see anything, like it's funny because like my appetite for the live matchups really depends on how my card's looking. Like when my card's looking good, I'm like, hey, I don't need to go there. You know what I mean? It's almost like that safety to where like if things aren't going my way, I'm like, listen, I'm going to dig into these matchups and I'm going to make some money there. And that's the beauty of having the 4 days to do it. But listen, that is all my bets for my card. Do you have anything else on the card, or we going to wrap this one up?
Yeah, I got one matchup for the 4 rounds, and I mean he let me down a little bit last week, but I do like Cameron Tringali, again, another very long hitter that's actually very good short game and putting to beat Kevin Kisner. You're getting the minus 120 on him for the whole tournament. Kiz did show up last week. He's been going for a little while now, but I just think that Kiz putts well, but I mean I think his lack of distance here on a wet course, I think it's going to be, a crutch, and I think he's going to be having to shoot a lot of long shots. He's a great wedge player. He's a great inside, 180 player, but shooting from 220 plus, his stats aren't great. So I like Tringali in that matchup. That's one that really caught my eye.
Yep, Arroyo checking in with a question. He new to golf. I think new to golf betting. Our UFC guy, man. He hooked me up last weekend with Means, dude. Tailed that. Had a great weekend at the UFC. Asking just kind of about like a bankroll question about, percentage of bets, like how much do we put towards the outright versus the top 20 plays? And it's a great question, right? Because we don't want to bet the same amount on the outright as we do the top 20. So typically I bet about 20% of what I bet on the top 20 on the outright. So very small play on the outright because the odds are so long, very difficult to hit. You could always bet the outrights live during the market. So if you're betting like 1 unit on the top 20, you want to bet like 0.2 units on the outright. Like that's pretty much how I run it. Dave, you do it similar?
Yeah, I do it similar. And if you're asking, bankroll, I like to, I'm not huge, but like these picks here, like a lot of times I'm in the 10 to 20 range on the outrights, just because there's a lot of volatility there. You got to hit one over a month or two. So you're going to have to roll in, knowing you're going to lose if you play 4 or 5, knowing you're going to lose somewhere in the 50-100 range 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks and build it up with one of those winners. So, but I also like to back it up with what Drums is saying and really try to at least put the same amount on my top 20 with the same golfer, if not maybe even a little more, to really hedge that and get that back. So yeah, looking at the winner, it's definitely the lower range, and then backing that up with the top 20, I try to put 1x to 1.5x on the top 20 of the same winner I picked, just to try and hedge that.
Yep, absolutely. Great stuff, man. And hey, Arroyo, thanks for checking in, man, and thank you for asking the questions, right? You always can pick our brains. That's what we're here for, man. It is it's about, having fun, talking golf, making bets, man. And that's, that's what we do. But that's going to wrap it up for us. Listen, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Our guy Arroyo tuned in. Rick, awesome question. Appreciate you tuning in. Adam, Dan Green, everybody, who checked out the show and hit us up with some questions. Keep it coming. We will be back Wednesday night with more golf. We'll be back Saturday morning, our regular show. Plenty to talk about, a ton going on. Stanley Cup playoffs, NBA playoffs. We'll have a clearer picture on the NBA finals, how that thing's going. Just absolutely crazy series. But we'll be back Saturday morning. So hit us up then. Look out for us. Make sure you like and follow the Heat Ratio Sports Network. Hit subscribe. Hit the notifications so that way when we go live, you're always made aware and you can join the party with us. But we appreciate everybody tuning in. Good luck on all your bets, and we will